I'm Hannah Moore, CFP, a practicing financial planner and educator. I'm on a mission to change the way people think and talk about money. Let's get started. When you boil it down, there are really 4 things that you can do with your money. You can spend it, save it, invest it, or give it. And I want to talk about this, what this means, and what this concept is, and how powerful it can be when we're thinking about our personal finances. So first of all, to give credit, my friend Mac Gardner came up with this. He wrote a book called The 4 Money Bears, and it's a way to talk to your children about money. So if you guys have children, it is definitely a book to check out to help be reframing this conversation around money in a really easy and accessible way for children. So definitely check out that resource. But let's start talking about this idea. So the first one is we can spend our money. Now, as we're talking about this, when we look at our finances, this should not be we focus on one and only one, right? That is not a balanced life. That is not a balanced approach to our money. And so when we're looking at this, the goal is not to be really great at one. In fact, there's a lot of downsides of being really great at one, but not others. The goal is to be balanced in how we're thinking about this and how we're approaching this and helping shift some of this conversation of how we think and talk about money. Okay, so spending it, right? We all do this. Whether that's, paying your rent or mortgage payment, to buying the clothes you're wearing, to eating out, to buying groceries, whatever it may be, we're actually all pretty wired to spend money. And that's an important thing, right? Like that's not a bad thing. When we look at spending money, we want to be able, one of the things I always go back to is every dollar should bring you joy. Every dollar that you spend money can bring you joy. And if it's not, that's an area to be examining of saying, okay, what do we need to do different in that area of our life? What would it look like if those dollars going towards whatever it may be would actually bring you joy? And I think it's a very, very powerful exercise to start reframing some of how we're thinking about money. Now, obviously, there's a danger here if we spend all of our money. If our money comes in and we spend it all, that's not a healthy way of living because we're not being able to invest in our future. We're not able to save any money. We're not able to be giving money. It's all for the now. And again, I've done money personality kind of exercises with clients in the past, and that's very much a money personality kind of space for a lot of people of where they just really love to be spending money, and that's we want to. That's important, and also we just know that there has to be boundaries to that. So the second thing that you can do with your money is save money, right? And this is something that I think we all kind of intuitively get, but it's an important piece of what our financial picture is like. Money coming in, money going out, we want to make sure that we're saving a piece for ourselves. Now, this is going to most easily look like, if your emergency fund, how much money do you guys have in your savings account? And those pieces of it, by having money that's just saved, that you have it there for that rainy day fund, it's going to help you tremendously as you are getting into this space and having a well-rounded financial picture. Now, again, there's dangers of just so focusing on saving. A couple dangers are when you're not spending or enjoying your money. And I'll tell you, I have people that I work with who fall into this camp of where they are so good at saving or investing their money, but they're not living, right? They're waiting for this line, and they suddenly give themselves permission to now they can spend money. Now they've earned the right to spend money. And I just want, it's fascinating working with those clients because oftentimes we're giving them permission to spend their money. And there's a balance in this, right? This is about having a healthy relationship with our money, of understanding that, yes, money is here. Yes, we need to save our money, but going all in on just saving our money isn't a healthy spot to do it either. So again, we just want to make sure that we're having these balances in our lives. So the third area of what we can do with our money is to invest our money, right? And this is going to be, lots of ways to do this, right? The most traditional one, the one I'm most familiar with probably is actually investing this in the stock market. And there's lots of ways of doing this. But this idea of you're taking your money from your savings account or from, obviously from your spending too, and putting it in something that's for later, that's going to go to work for you. Money that's actually going to be giving you a return. This could be investing in your own business, right? It could be investing in the stock market, in the bond market. It can be investing in all these places, but this is critically important. This is one of the things, we talk about the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. This is one thing that the rich understand is the importance of investing and what that looks like. Because the more that we can invest, the more our money is working for us. So we're not just saving and spending. We're not just counting what's on the table in front of us. We're actually putting a portion into a vehicle that's going to continue to grow and give us return on that money, that we can obviously use later. So investing is a huge piece of this. Okay. And then finally, and then investing again. If we're going all in on investing, and again, there's seasons for everything in life, right? I'm a big believer in that of seasons of investing. And so one of the things with the seasons of investing, or with one of the dangers of going all in on the investing, is again, we have to understand what is our money for? Again, I've seen clients who their goal is to have $10 million. And they weren't happy at all. They're actually pretty miserable in their life. And so if we just have a goal to get more money, it's why? What is the context for that? And that's incredibly important for us to be answering those questions. So the last category is giving. And this is, it's really interesting when they look at studies of what brings the most happiness or fulfillment to people. Giving money and helping other people tends to be very, very high on that list. And so when we look at what are the functions of money that we have in our life, giving is a big one of where we can share our money. And again, it can be such a fulfilling way. If you're not sure about this, go tip your waiter or waitress $100. Go see what that looks like. See their response to it, and see how it feels to be able to do that. It can be incredibly gratifying. And when we look at how does money make people feel, how does it bring fulfillment? Yes, living by your values, but giving is a piece of that as well. And I think one of the other great things about giving is that it doesn't have to be this massive, huge thing. You look at, what percentage of your budget, if, you went out to eat and you just tipped twice as much. You just did a little bit more here or there, or you did something like that. It can make a tremendous difference for you and for your fulfillment and your happiness. Oftentimes, yes, giving is good for the person who receives the gift, but it can even be better for us as we're giving that money. So if this hasn't been a part of your life, of your financial life, of where your money is going, I really encourage you to do that, because it is incredibly powerful way for you to do that. Now, when we also look at giving, again, the downside of giving all of your money away. And I have seen this as well, where people are so generous. It's actually one of the money personalities as well, of where people are just like, they feel an obligation to give all of their money away. And again, it's all about making sure that things are in balance in your life, of making sure you have a really clear picture of what is it that you need to provide for yourself. And then how does giving fit in with that? Again, it's so much of life is how do we, when we look at our financial life, it's how do we have a balance between these four areas? Where do we have an excess? Where do we have a deficiency on this? And then how can we, again, it's hard to make massive changes, right? Like, let's be real. Like, it's really, really hard to make massive changes on our financial picture and our financial life. But how can we take that first step towards, filling in all four of these categories? So if you are not a saver, set up an automatic $100 transfer or $50 transfer or whatever it is that you can afford. Take that first baby step, right? If you're investing, if you already have a retirement account, maybe increase it by a little bit. Or if you don't have any investments, go sign up for an investment account and just transfer in just a little bit, just to get your feet wet on it and just to get started. And if giving has been an area where you haven't been doing, just start out small. Double the tip the next time you go out to eat. Just do that and see how that feels. See what that looks like for you. And also with the spending, if you don't like to spend money, go spend money on something that you really enjoy. It can be a $5 latte from Starbucks or whatever that may be. Do something that's going to bring you joy. It does not have to be a high dollar amount in order to do that. But our goal for our money is that it's enhancing our life. And again, I loved how Matt kind of framed this out. If there's 4 things to do with money. And so I hope you're doing all 4 of these things. And if not, that you just take the one step to kind of experiencing all of this. So good luck as you guys do this. I would love to hear what that one small step is for you. Thanks for listening to this episode of Everyday Money with Hannah Moore. If you like what you heard, subscribe and check out livewealthynow.com. We have a lot more resources to help you live wealthy now.